What is going on, friends? And I can't think of anything else. NoodleHouse here. We're back on Chaos Child, and it's 4 days after Yui's absolutely horrific. Even if that wasn't a character very close to Takuru, that still would have been an incredibly vile death. Like fucking hell. Jesus. The autopsy, the police interviews, all that came to an end, and Yui's body was sent for cremation. Her soul became thin, pure white smoke and soared up into the heavens. Kurizu and I stood between the trees at the funeral home and watched it rise. They say crematoriums now use filters and stuff, so they only give off clean smoke. Huh? I'd say something that didn't matter and Kurizu would only half listen. We've been doing that for a while now. Dad was probably in the room where the family waited for the I can't read cremation and crematorium because they look so similar. Waited for the cremation to finish, holding Yuto in his strong arms the whole time. Uki, Senri, Aramura and Kazuki were probably watching, but they couldn't do anything. It's strange, you know. It was so sad at first and I couldn't stop crying, but now I'm okay. I'm thinking about the cost of the funeral and what's due for a grave. I guess I'm a heartless girl. Even as she spoke, she looked thin and frail from her suffering, but there was a light, like grey flame, from in her eyes. I've never seen her look like that before. No, there's no one else who can do that stuff but you. Dad looks so out of it these days. There isn't. Yeah. Besides, I'd already heard the muffled sobbing that came from Kurizu's room late at night. After that, I've moved back to Albadorm from the RV. Kurizu, Yuto, Uki and Dad. All of them were shocked and saddened by Yui's death. If I were to leave them too, I couldn't bear the idea of a lonely Albadorm without me or Yui. And when I was alone, I found myself remembering Yui, and I'd feel like I was going to go crazy. So I wanted to be with someone I could share my sorrows with. I was about to learn that this was what the family I'd tried to abandon was for, but for now my head was full of thoughts of finding the person who'd done this to Yui. Takuru? Once the funeral's over, get a little rest. You don't look so good. Neither do you. You haven't got any rest either, right? I can't sleep at night. I have all these bad dreams and I keep waking up. Listen. Kurizu tightened her hands into small fists. Just for one night. Can I sleep in your room? Huh? Of course not. I wanted to refuse instantly, but she looked so tired and kept telling me she couldn't sleep by herself. I had no choice but to silently nod. When nothing was left of you but tiny white fragments, we used the chopsticks to move her to the urn. Only after she'd lost most of her weight and fit into the tiny urn did she finally attain a normal death. That was one weight off my shoulders. I didn't want her staying in that horrible state forever. Yuto was shaking the whole time he moved his sister's bones into the urn. But his eyes were empty, looking at nothing, and he wasn't screaming or crying. While Yui's classmates and teachers sobbed, he did his work mechanically with shaking hands. When it was done, he turned his empty eyes once more to what was left of his sister. Yuto, I'll find who really did this, I promise you. But he said nothing back. The funeral ended without incident. Uki and Dad took Yuto back home and by taxi. Kurizu and I said goodbyes to Serika, Arimura and Kazuki and then headed for home. We were walking slowly. I wonder if Yuto's okay. He's got you and Dad, and more than anything, Yuki's with him all the time. The loss of Yuto's sister had brought back his PTSD, to the point where he's just as bad as he'd been after the earthquake. He mostly lost the ability to speak. He'd become extremely afraid of the dark, and sometimes he would go into convulsions. He'd been given special permission to leave the house to attend Yui's funeral, But normally he wasn't even allowed to sleep in his room. Dad decided to put him up in a room in Alba Clinic. It's strange how it worked out, huh? It was Yuki Yamazoe who was doing everything she could do to take care of him. It seemed like the reason we saved her and brought her to Albadorm was so that she, Yui's old friend, could take care of him in this hour of need. When I told her that, Kurusu looked sad. It's just a coincidence, was all she said. Listen, Takuru, about Yuki. Huh? If you don't mind, could you start calling her by her first name? Huh? I felt that pain in the back of my chest again. Around 6 months ago, I'd switched from calling her Nono to Kurusu. Looking back, the reason was so stupid that just thinking about it made me mad. But part of me was stubborn, and part of me felt just a little too embarrassed, so I missed the chance to switch back. I knew that sometimes it made Kurusu sad. I don't mind, but would it bother Yamazoe? Uki actually said she liked it whenever people called her by her first name, that she felt like she'd become part of the Albadorm's family. Oh god, I read that in the wrong voice, I just realised. But I don't want her to just feel like she's part of the family. I want her to really be part of the family. You know? Kurusu smiled, probably for the first time today. Alright, I'll call her Uki and not Yamazoe, okay? Got it. Thank you. I'll tell her she can call you Takuru too. Yeah. Oh, and... Then should I... Can I start calling you Nono again? This I was about to ask. Miyashiro, Kurusu? We suddenly heard a voice and turned around. Shinjo was standing there. He must have felt responsible for what happened, because there was no sign of his usual vitality. He mostly stared at the ground. Sorry, I wanted to go to the funeral, but I guess I didn't make it. You don't have to do that, you're busy with work, right? The examination in the hospital took longer than I thought. Examination? Ito's. The silence that had developed between Kurusu and I shattered in an instant. He's woken up? Let me see him, please. But Shinjo shook his head. No, he's still in a coma. He is? I see. But his brain showed the symptoms we expected. Swelling? Yeah, his cerebral neocortex is extremely enlarged. Kunosato said it's even more severe than anything she's seen before. She says it's because he was subject to very strong mind control for such a long time. And he's innocent, right? I didn't want to think that my best friend had killed Yui of his own free will. I wanted to believe that he was someone's puppet like Kurusu had said. You're right. There's someone else who was controlling him. That's what I think, at least. There was a hesitation in his voice. That doesn't change the fact that he did it. You and I and Kunosato know how powerful mind control can be. And so we can say for sure that he did nothing wrong, but... The other investigators know. The prosecution and the judge are likely to see it differently. Of course, so is the rest of the world. Of course, we're considering the possibility of brainwashing based on Kurusu's testimony, but none of the investigators are quite sure what to do with it. There's just too much that doesn't make sense, and too much we can't back up with evidence. This goes all the way beyond what we normally handle. We can't stop babbling about jugalomaniacs and psychic powers, can we? Shinjo bit the corner of his lip. There's only one reason the rest of the department stands to question how I'm handling this case. There's a lot of evidence showing up that it's not good for Ito either. What do you mean? For instance, do you remember that threatening call that Ito got from your phone after you lost it? Yes? Huh? Wait, was that Ito? But how? It was a simple trick. There was an app on his phone that would display a fake call and fake caller info. It had your name and phone number registered on it. Oh. So that was it. Why didn't I realise that? I know there was a freeware app that could do that. I remember hearing how you were supposed to use it and then conversations with people you didn't want to talk to or get out of meetings. And we found these strange chat logs on his computer. Chat logs? Does his name Ed Lucas mean anything to you? Ed Lucas? Who's that? Both Kurusu and I looked confused. Neither of us had heard that name before. And what about Amy? Oh, I know that. That's the urban legends. That was a character I snuck up into. That was a character I snuck into AH Tokyo General Hospital to find when I was a kid. How's a coffin? Fuck. No, not that one. Logs of those two nicknames chatting were found in Ito's computer. Ed Lucas was Ito's handle. The chat logs consisted of discussions about murders, and a lot of detailed observation. Oh my god, I can't even fucking talk. Lots of details and lots of detailed observations about you, Miyashiro. It's more than enough for a motive. That can't be. But if you can find who he's chatting with, that's a clue. But Shinjo balled his hands into fists. Of course, I had the Cybercrimes Division looking into it. But what they found was that Amy doesn't exist. Huh? What do you mean? Amy was also Ito. He was talking to himself. But that's impossible. Why? This is Kunosato's theory, but she thinks that Ito's mind had already been destroyed by being subject to mind control over an extended period of time. But since mind control won't be recognised in the court law, this evidence is extremely damaging to him. It includes information that only the killer could know. A new rage is building up within me. Whoever did that to Yui had also put Ito's mind under so much stress that it shattered. Damn it. I kicked a small rock at my feet. The rock collided with a nearby wall and split in two. Shinjo. What's going to happen to Ito at this rate? I mean, legally. I don't know. He's a minor, but given what he's accused of. But that changes if the real killer's caught, right? They could lessen the charges then. No. You just focus on protecting yourselves. I'll find the killer. Ito must have realised that's not Ito. That's Shinjo. Game, can you get the name right, please? Shinjo must have realised what I was trying to say because he cut me off. Find him. Where are you going to start looking? And even if you do find the killer, what can you do against a gigalomaniac? You haven't been able to do anything so far, and that's why Yui and Ito... This wasn't fair. I knew it wasn't fair, but I was so frustrated and angry that I couldn't stop myself. Takuru. Shinjo's doing his best for us. It's not fair to blame him. I looked at Shinjo's face, then looked away. He had the same pain look in his face that we'd had a minute ago. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... No, you're right. I still don't know how to apologize to you. But please, just don't put your lives in danger. Miyashiro, you especially. If you think about doing something on November 4th. November 4th? The day of the last New Generation Madness incident, which means that the killer will do something on that day. Shinjo's expression became even more pained. That's why, Miyashiro. No luck, huh? He must have seen how strong my resolve was because he turned towards Kuruzu. Kuruzu? Yes? Looks like he's not going to listen to me. Can you keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do anything? I don't want any more victims. Kuruzu quietly nodded. I understand. I'll watch Takuru until the end of November 4th and make sure he doesn't do anything dangerous. Kuruzu? Something seemed strange about what she said, so I turned to look. But she had already bowed to Shinjo and started walking towards Alba Dorm. Great, they're talking about fucking... Really? Fucking creeps. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below. And if you want to see more of this, and do subscribe to the channel. I upload every day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.